I just gotta know, how y'all doing? How are y'all surviving?
The UK is more expensive than Australia. There's more crime in the UK than there is in Australia, and the quality of life here in Australia is better than the UK.
Fit in the fucking beef and onion pits is going on. I have just been robbed.
In my adult life, right now. And this is the first time that I've had to budget.
The US government's about to crash our economy, cause a recession, and crash the stock market on purpose all at the same time.
We paid $75 for 2 protein bowls.
I just crashed out so hard earlier that I lost my... I have 3 teenage sons. Groceries just cost me $300 for a cart that looked...
The cost of living in the UK isn't just rising, it's redefining what it means to survive. For millions of households, 2025 has brought more than just higher prices. It's brought hard choices. Do you heat your home or feed your family? Do you pay rent or keep the lights on? These aren't dramatic hypotheticals, they're everyday decisions for people across the country. As of January, over 57% of UK households reported an increase in their living costs compared to the previous month. And with no new cost of living payments planned by the government this year too, many families are left to face this crisis alone. Grocery prices have jumped nearly 8% year on year. Energy bills are still significantly higher than pre-crisis levels 3. Rent arrears are rising, food banks are overwhelmed, and more than 40 million people, including nearly 4 million children, are experiencing hunger due to financial hardship. This isn't just an economic issue, it's a human one. It's about dignity, stability, and the right to live without constant financial fear. In this video, we're breaking down the real impact of the UK's cost of living crisis. Not just the stats, but the stories, the pressure, the frustration, and the fight to stay afloat. If you felt the squeeze, you're not alone. And if you're ready to talk about what's really happening, beyond the headlines and political spin, then stick around. Because this conversation matters. And it starts now.
Da 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 da! It's the motherfucking DOCC!
So I just took my teenage daughter out to the mall. And of course, I wanted to eat somewhere healthy. And guess what? We paid $75 for 2 protein bowls. I don't know. What am I missing? What happened to normal eating out prices? This is insane.
What in the cost of living crisis? You thought what was going on in the hotels and in the English Channel was bad. Bullshit is this. A bottle of HP sauce for £4.35? It's not even a fucking big one. Are you having a laugh? I mean, it looks like anything to do with the government is a complete and utter con these days. £4.35? Surely nobody's buying that.
So I was just sitting here and I was thinking, living in London is absolutely crazy. And I can see why people tend to move outside of London. I mean, I'm a single girl living in a flat in London. It's crazy. The bills are insane. I feel like I have to pick up a Saturday job to be able to have extra. Without my Saturday job, I won't be able to meet up with friends for dinner or even travel on anything. So I feel like my Monday to Friday job covers my bills, all my bills, and my weekend job is my extra. That's crazy.
Show you this. This is my website. I stayed at this resort, the Paradisus, and this is in Punta Cana. I stayed at this exact resort back in April. If I were to go there again, which I totally would, it's absolutely gorgeous. The Garden Junior Suite with View. This is on my website, $806. This is your standard room for $806, and that includes tax, and it shows the dates. Now, just for fun, I went on to booking.com. You'll see exact same resort, same exact days. I will show you here. See, same exact days, same exact type of room, 2 people. There's the price. But guess what? When you hit I'll reserve, that $939 does not include the tax. You'll see when I scroll down to get the exact pricing, the exact price is even a lot higher. So even with just a couple nights stay, you can save a huge amount of money.
I just gotta know, like how y'all doing? How are y'all surviving? It's getting rough out here. I'm just looking at my utility bills for the month. $412 electric bill. Almost $250 gas bill. That one was actually cheaper than it had been. My water bill's on the way. It'll at least be $300 to $350. House payment, car insurance, cell phones, Wi-Fi. The price of food. Just went grocery shopping, $550 for hopefully 2 weeks, but it never lasts 2 weeks. I'll be back at the store multiple times for snacks for the kids, lunches, fruit, milk. And then let's not talk about when you need the other stuff like toilet paper, paper towels, body wash, shampoo, $150 by the time you get all that. Cleaning supplies. Your girl needs socks. Like, it's like not funny, but like laugh or what else can we do? Like, something has got to change. This is BS, man. I'm scared to death for when my kids are grown-ups. Like, it is struggling out here.
The UK is more expensive than Australia. There's more crime in the UK than there is in Australia, and the quality of life here in Australia is better than the UK. Listen, this has got nothing to do with rose-tinted glasses. Look, I appreciate that it comes across like I'm extremely negative about the UK, but having lived in both extremely recently, and I mean very recently, I'm up to date with current affairs on both. I just am. So I appreciate if you haven't lived in Australia for a number of years and you've gone to the UK, or you live in the UK and you've not been to Australia for a long time, things have changed. Roles have reversed. Listen, it's more expensive in the UK than it is in Australia now. The wages here in Australia are a lot more than the UK. And do you know what, right? Even if Australia was more expensive than the UK now, so what? You get more for your money. You buy cheap, you buy twice. Listen, I would rather live in Australia, have no money in my bank account at the end of the month, but live here, than have no money living in the UK. Look, the UK is limited in what it can offer you. You've had a great summer. I appreciate that. But let's face it, you are now facing on the horizon months and months and months of awful weather. If you're one of those people that is interested in the move, please don't let comments like this put you off. If you want to do it and it doesn't work out for you, yeah, at least you tried. At least you gave it some, you gave it a go. And if you've given it a go and you're not feeling it, go back to the UK. What have you got to lose?
Salary differences in the UK versus the US. So I'm a Brit living in Orange County in Southern California, and one of the biggest differences that most expats and immigrants are going to find moving to America is that their salaries should, for most roles, especially professional roles, be exponentially higher. So I can only really talk for California, and obviously the cost of living here is a lot higher than a lot of other states. But when I was in the UK, a kind of like £50,000 a year job here in the US would command between $150,000 to $200,000, if not more. I actually know people in the US who are making 5 or 6 times their UK salaries. So they might have been making, say, £40,000 in the UK, and then they've come to America and they're making $250,000 plus bonuses, dependent on their role. The wage stagnancy in the UK is just absolutely shocking. Like, I worked in HR before I moved here, and one of the things that we always used to talk about was the fact that wages hadn't risen really since 2008 in the UK. I don't know if that's the same in the US and the same in other countries, but it just means that we as Brits are really priced out of a lot of countries. When our family and friends come and visit us here in California, they find California extremely expensive because some of them are making £35,000 a year. And that says a good job in the UK. But when you come here and people are making a lot more money than that on that same job, it makes travelling to somewhere like California extremely expensive.
Fit in the fucking beef and onion pits is going on. I have just been robbed. Fucking mugged in broad daylight. I've just been shagged up the arse by Tesco for a can of fucking deodorant. Somebody want to explain to me why I went into Tesco to get my husband a can of fucking bow spray and being charged £5 fucking 95. £6. £6 so my husband's pits don't smell like fucking beef and onion. I am shooketh to the core. Since when did fucking Lynx think they're Dior Sauvage? What the fuck? Cosy Lives is the least of our fucking problems now. There's got to be no cost of living crisis. It's got to be the cost of BO crisis. The next pandemic we've got coming to the UK is the fucking BO pandemic. Because if you think I'm paying £6 for a can of fucking Lynx, then you are about as delusional as my bank balance every month. At this point, I'm not buying deodorant, I'm fucking investing in deodorant. If you got a pension, no, but I've got 2 cans of Lynx Africa under my bed. We're actually going to be able to tell who the rich folk in this fucking country are from now on by lifting up their arms and smelling their pits. What an absolute fucking joke of a country we live in.
The US government's about to crash our economy, cause a recession, and crash the stock market on purpose all at the same time. Now, if you've been waiting to buy a car or buy a home, things are going to get cheaper. But let me explain, it's not just Trump that wants to crash the economy, it's the Federal Reserve that needs this to happen as well. Now, first off, the stock market, I said back in December it was going to crash at least 40% for the NASDAQ this year. A lot of people laughed at that, but you need to understand, 2016 Trump and 2024 Trump are two totally different people. Trump is on a mission. He's on a mission to cut government spending and to cause deflation. He wants things to get cheaper. That is not ideal for the overinflated stock market. Now, the Federal Reserve, their debt, their trillions and trillions of dollars that they need to refinance this year, they cannot refinance at the current interest rate we're at right now. They need the economy to contract and to go into a recession so they can actually cut interest rates and refinance the debt that they have. Now, Trump also has many promises that he's made as well, and he cannot accomplish those without causing a deflationary state. You cannot cut government spending and cause the economy to contract without going into a recession. So will there be some negatives from this, like job loss? Yes, but this will cause many things that many people have been looking for, like home prices to fall, interest rates to become better, and people just to be able to afford loans in general. So this is what's about to happen. The government is going to intentionally crash the economy. Now, for those of you that say, oh, well, Trump's just causing a recession, the fact is we had an inverted yield curve in 2022 that ended in 2024, and no matter who got elected, we were going to go through a big recession.
The government has confirmed a sharp rise in the UK minimum wage this September, one of the biggest increases in years. On the surface, it looks like good news, more money in the pockets of low-income workers and extra protection against rising prices. But the ripple effects go much further. For pensioners who don't directly earn wages, this change still matters. Why? Because higher wages often mean higher costs. From weekly food shopping to home care services and even transport, many essentials may see price rises as businesses adjust. That means fixed pensions may not stretch as far as before. There's another layer too. Households where pensioners combine part-time work with state pensions could see benefits like pension credit or carers allowance shift, as new income thresholds are applied. Some may earn more, but others could lose support. Meanwhile, small businesses warn they may reduce hours or raise prices, changes that could affect older people who work part-time or rely on local services. So is this wage hike a boost for fairness, or will pensioners end up paying more?
What in the broken Britain cost of living bullshit is this now? We've come back to Lidl. Have a little look at these prices. Whoosh. $4.29 on the vacuum mints. And it's in that dirty vacuum packaging. Disgraceful. Pack of diced beef. $7.39. Someone's taking the piss, surely. Why is the animals worth so much money? Look at that, $8.25 for that little bit of salmon. Salmon's gone through the roof and all. Pack still smashing it out there. $4.89 for the little pack spreadable. And it is quite small, you know what I mean? Normal size. Get away. These are another example. 4 bog standard beef quarter pounders, frozen in the freezer, obviously. $3.19. I bought these from here approximately 4 months ago, and they were $1.69. So they have flew up in price. What a robbery! That's some more prices from Lidl. These guys are supposed to be the cheapest. Even Dick Turpin wore a mask. Get out of here. This country needs sorting out.
Why does life come with a cover charge? Like, just to leave the house, just to stay home and realize all the shit you're fucking out of? I just crashed out so hard earlier that I lost my voice. Sure, I'll get laundry soap for the 3rd time this week. Why are we doing 17 loads of laundry a day in my house? Because I have 3 teenage sons. Groceries just cost me $300 for a cart that looked like I was prepping for a 2-day prison sentence, okay? It got me nothing. Nothing. Like you get some meat and vegetables, or you get bread, snacks, and drinks. You're not getting both at that price point. Like, let me start rationing my teen son's food. I'm sure he'll be pleased. I'm gonna disassociate now. My cell phone bill, $300, insurance, $450, and I don't even want to say my car payment, my utilities, and my mortgage out loud. I'd be invoking Satan himself if I did that. Gas, $60 today to fill up my tank. Then my son comes strolling out of the bathroom all casual, like, Ma, I'm gonna need some toothpaste and deodorant. Sir, you better eat a fucking Tic Tac and start hugging some pine trees, because you're breaking me. Meanwhile, the cats are like, meow, meow, we need litter and food. Honestly, y'all are freeloaders with fur. And Christmas is basically knocking on the door already. It's 4 months away? 4 months? Because we're into fall already. So yeah, 4 months. Plus 2 kids' birthdays before then. I just spent $60 on school pictures so I can remember the year my son's hair channeled Betty White. Would wrapping empty Amazon and boxes and selling them as mystery Christmas gifts be frowned upon? Like, could it not come every year? Maybe every 3 years instead? That seems more reasonable to me. At this point, I have side hustles. I'm ready for another. Like, what's being a lady of the night pay these days? I'll sit on a corner with a sign, I've got change for $5. Somebody tell me if that's a W-2 or 1099 situation, and would that bother my husband? Probably.
This is the reason why most people in London are never going to be able to buy a house, unless they get it through inheritance or they have insane corporate jobs earning £250,000 a year or more. All right, the first big topic is rent. Most people are renting while they're saving for a deposit. The problem in London is that rents are absolutely through the roof, and the majority of your money that you earn and that you're trying to put aside to build your deposit for a property is being spent on rent. So if you're spending that much money on rent, you don't have enough surplus to then start stacking and afford a deposit for a house. So you're in a cycle of just paying your rent, having to live somewhere, paying your rent, and then not being able to save for a deposit. And it just lengthens the time and the age at which you're able to buy a property, and just makes things really, really, really hard. Most people's mortgage payments would be on par with the rent that they're paying for the similar property that they're staying in. So for most people who are renting a property right now, their mortgage payments, if they had a mortgage on it, would be probably lower or same as the rent which they're paying. The problem is people can't afford to save for a deposit because they're paying so much in rent. And also the mortgage applications typically lend you 4.5 times your yearly salaries. So for a lot of properties in London, you're looking at zones 2 to 3, you're looking at £750,000 plus. Let's say your household income is £100,000. You can then borrow £450,000. So your deposit would have to make up the rest, which is £300,000. Who do you know who has a £300,000 deposit? So this is fundamentally the massive problem when it comes to living in London and buying property in London. It's just very, very difficult for anyone to get on the ladder. And then once you do, all of your savings have been depleted to go into a house. And in my opinion, I like to have investments. I like to have things that do go up in value aside from property. And you just have no more exposure to stock market, crypto, or any other hustles you got going on. So all of your money's tied up in your house. And essentially you are house rich, but cash poor. And for me personally, that's never a situation that I want to be in because it's just not favourable. But let me know, do you agree with my points? What are your thoughts on the housing market in London? Do you think it can be helped or solved in any way?
If you're also using Royal Mail, the tariff situation is pretty interesting. It looks like Royal Mail has made some sort of an agreement with the US. The 10% tariff that is going to be coming out from the sender and not the receiver. And from what I've learned so far this week, from asking the staff at the post office, they also think that even though the sender is now paying a 10% tariff, the receiver could still get charged a 10% tariff. It's a little bit in the gray areas, a little bit mysterious. But when we send parcels now via Royal Mail, we get charged a duty fee and a handling fee. Now, these are the extra charges that will go on top of the postage. Say that the postage is £22 track and signed. There will be a 10% tariff on the total price of the parcel. Say the parcel is £100, the tariff is going to be £10 plus 50p handling fee on top of that. So the total would then become £33 a small parcel. And the post staff also told me that now, even when you send like an average letter, you are charged £1.50 like admin fee. And there is no minimum cap or maximum cap on this tariff. So even if you send off a parcel that's worth £10 or £5, you'll still be charged 10% tariff on top of the shipping fee. So a £10 would then have a £1 tariff plus shipping and so on. At the moment, we're not quite sure what to do with the situation because it's very, very expensive for small business owners. Our profit margin is already really, really thin, so adding this like no end tariff on every parcel is sort of insane. We need to look at how we could bear the cost, how we can cover the cost without losing too much. Yeah, it's a fun game and also a shit show. We'll see. We'll have to work it all out.
I've noticed people don't like to talk about money nowadays, or even back in the day, it's a very taboo topic to talk about. But I think we need to start normalizing talking about it, and especially now with everything being so expensive. I'm going to break down the bills that I have. I'm making more money than I've ever made in my adult life right now. And this is the first time that I've had to budget. And you can say you're spoiled, whatever. I've just done well, and my husband does well. We don't live in a grandiose house. We live in a nice house, yes. We live in a very nice city, yes. But let's break down some of the bills. And let's just be completely transparent. So, first bill is the mortgage. My mortgage is almost $3,300 a month. The second bill, my biggest bill, is my daughter's school. That's almost $24,000 a year. The third biggest bill would be my utility bill. Apparently, we had a toilet running, and so last month, our water bill, I think I made a video about it, was $514. So I had to pay that. They wouldn't do anything about it. They said the water had to go somewhere. We had somebody to come out and check for any type of leak. There was no leak. We were forced to pay that on top of the regular water bill, which is usually $90 a month. Then you have your electricity bill, and that's usually around $130 a month. Then you have car payments. My husband's car is paid off, and my car now, my new one that I got, is about $300 a month, which is not a lot, I know. But then you have insurance. Our insurance is about $300 every single month. And what else? Extracurricular activities for my daughter, a couple $100s a month. Our grocery bill, we don't do like large hauls. We go like every couple days and get stuff, and I never had to budget it. We would just always go and buy it. And I broke it down this month, and we spend about $800 a month on groceries because we don't eat out and we make everything at home. And then we obviously have my housekeeper every week. That's $150 a month. So that's what, $600 a month. And then my dog gets groomed every 6 weeks. That's another $100. And that's not even including any of the extra things like shopping, whatever. And I don't even buy clothes full price. I thrift most things. And I don't get my nails done. I don't get my hair done. I don't do spray tan. I don't do lashes. Yes, I do Botox. That's it. I don't buy makeup. All my makeup is sent to me for free. Yes. And I don't know how families are dealing with the cost of living. It is scary. And like I said, my husband and I do well. I'm not going to go into exactly how much we make because I think that's a little bit too much. But those are our bills. And this is the first month that, we are going to be like paycheck to paycheck. And I've never been like that my entire life. And I'm worried. I'm legitimately worried. Usually everything just gets automatically taken out of our account on automatic payment. This time, I'm like looking at my account and it's going to be close by the end of the month. And then credit cards, I put everything on credit cards, but I always pay them off in full at the end of the month. I will not pay a dime of interest. But this month, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. Depends on how big my commission check's going to be. And I never had to live like this before. I don't get it. My husband and I are both making more money than we've ever made. Why? I don't know how. It freaks me out to think about how other families live. Like, should I just move? Should we move to like West Virginia and just get like a nice big house and all our expenses would be like lowered? Oh, property tax, $12,000 a year. You guys, it goes on and on and on and on and on. And I'm nervous this month.
So here we are. If you've made it to the end of this video, you already know this isn't just a news story, it's a lived experience. The UK's cost of living crisis isn't some abstract economic trend. It's the reason millions of people are skipping meals, rationing heating, and wondering how they'll make it to the end of the month. It's the quiet panic behind every grocery receipt, every rent payment, every energy bill, and it's not going away. Let's be honest, this country is hurting. And not just in the ways politicians like to talk about, not just in GDP charts or inflation graphs. It's hurting in kitchens, in bedrooms, in school lunchboxes. It's hurting in the minds of parents who feel like they're failing their children, in pensioners who've worked their entire lives and now sit in cold homes, in students who are choosing between textbooks and dinner. This is what the crisis looks like. Not in Westminster, but in real life. And the worst part? We didn't choose this. We didn't vote for skyrocketing food prices, unaffordable rent, or energy bills that triple overnight. We didn't ask for frozen wages or benefit cuts. We didn't ask for a system that rewards the top and forgets the rest. But here we are, living in it, surviving it, and for many, barely. In 2025, over 40 million people in the UK, including nearly 4 million children, are experiencing hunger due to financial hardship. That's not just a statistic, that's a scandal. That's a national failure, and it should shame every decision maker who let it happen. Food banks are overwhelmed, council tax arrears are soaring, energy debt has tripled over the past decade too. And the government's response? Silence. Or worse, shrugging. The Department for Work and Pensions confirmed there will be no new cost of living payments this year. That lifeline, gone. And while some households may qualify for benefits like pension credit or council tax reduction, thousands don't even know they're eligible through. The system is complex, confusing, and, let's be honest, designed to discourage. It's not just broken, it's exhausting. But here's the thing, we're not powerless. We may be tired, frustrated, and stretched thin, but we're not helpless. And that's what this outro is about. Not just naming the problem, but fighting it. So let's talk solutions. Real ones. Ones that start with us. First, know your rights. If you're struggling, check your eligibility for support. use benefits calculators, contact citizens advice, look into council tax discounts, pension credit, and energy support schemes. Even a small weekly award can unlock additional help for. It's not charity, it's your entitlement, and you deserve it. Second, get loud, share your story, post your receipts, write to your MP, join local advocacy groups, because silence is convenient for them, but it's deadly for us. The more we speak up, the harder it becomes to ignore. Hunger isn't a private shame, it's a public emergency, and it needs a public response. Third, vote with purpose. I'm not here to tell you who to support, but I am here to say, vote for policies, not personalities. Vote for leaders who understand what it means to live on a budget, who prioritise housing, food security and wage growth, not just corporate interests. And if no one on the ballot speaks for you, make noise until someone does. Fourth, build community. Because when the system fails, we lean on each other. Share meals, swap groceries, start or join local food co-ops, support your neighbours. This isn't weakness, it's resilience, and it's how we survive. Fifth, demand accountability. Supermarkets are posting record profits while food prices soar. That's not coincidence, it's exploitation. We need stronger regulations, transparent pricing, and real consequences for price gouging. And we need to stop accepting price locks and rollbacks as solutions. They're marketing, not mercy. Sixth, protect your mental health. Financial stress is brutal. It isolates, it drains, it breaks. But you're not alone. Talk to someone. Reach out. Use free mental health resources. Because surviving this crisis isn't just about money. It's about staying whole. And finally, don't give up. I know that sounds cliche, but it's real. Because giving up is what they count on. They count on our exhaustion, our silence, our resignation, but we're still here, still fighting, still demanding better. This video isn't just content, it's a message, a mirror, a movement. And if you felt the squeeze, if you've skipped meals, stressed over bills, or cried over a grocery receipt, then you're part of it. You're not weak, you're not failing, you're surviving a system that's failing you. The UK cost of living crisis isn't just about economics. It's about dignity. It's about justice. It's about the right to live without constant fear. And we're not waiting for permission to say it. We're saying it now. We're saying it together. And we're not stopping because we deserve better.